Witnesses say they saw many young girls coming and going at the time. There is video footage of Epstein accompanied by young girls. And you were there staying in his house, catching up with friends.
I mean, if they were, then I wasn't a party to any of that. I never saw them. I mean, you have to understand that his house, I described it more as almost as a railway station, if you know what I mean, in the sense that there were people coming in and out of that house all the time. What they were doing and why they were there, I had nothing to do with. So I'm afraid I can't make any comment on that because I really don't know.
Another guest was John Brockman, the literary agent.
It was at this moment he knew. He fucked up.
Now, he described
Really?
seeing you there getting a foot massage from a young Russian woman. Did that happen?
No.
You're absolutely sure, or
Yeah,
you can't remember?
Absolutely sure.
But that definitely wasn't you getting a foot massage from a Russian girl in Jeffrey Epstein's house.
No.
It might seem a funny way to break off a friendship, a 4-day house party of sorts with a dinner. It's an odd way to break up a friendship.
It's a difficult way of putting it. That's a very stark way of putting it. Yes, you're absolutely right. But actually, the truth of it is that I actually only saw him for about the dinner party, the walk in the park, and probably passing in the passage.
You would be hard-pressed to find a more guilty-looking face in the history of investigative journalism. If this was a soap opera, the director would probably tell the actor to tone it down a little bit, to at least give the viewer a shred of doubt that he's not completely full of shit.
So let's go to that Central Park walk, which was snapped. Friends of yours suggest that Epstein wanted that photo taken. Perhaps he'd even set it up.
Notice the oncoming sigh of relief as the subject matter switches from the suspicion directed at him to the suspicion directed at Epstein. He seems to relax as he can finally be genuine and speak the truth for a moment, and notice the complete switch in his demeanor and body motions.
Do you worry that you were being played?
Again, new information coming out since his suicide has made us reappraise that walk in the park.
July of this year, Epstein was arrested on charges of sex trafficking and abusing dozens of underage girls. One of Epstein's accusers, Virginia Roberts, has made allegations against you. She says she met you in 2001. She says she dined with you, danced with you at Tramp nightclub in London. She went on to have sex with you in a house in Belgravia belonging to Ghislaine Maxwell, your friend. Your response?
I have no recollection of ever meeting this lady.
Is it possible that you met Virginia Roberts, dined with her, danced with her in Tramp, had sex with her on another date?
No.
Is there any way you could have had sex with that young woman or any young woman trafficked by Jeffrey Epstein in any of his residences?
No. And without putting too fine a point on it, if you're a man, it is a positive act to have sex with somebody. You have to take some sort of positive action. And so therefore, if you try to forget, it's very difficult to try and forget positive action. And I do not remember anything.
Epstein's housekeeper, also in a Florida court legal deposition, said that you visited the Palm Beach residence around 4 times a year.
Notice Andrew's reaction in the next moments when he genuinely thinks a statement is untrue.
You got a daily massage.
4 times a year?
Now let's compare this to a question he was asked a moment earlier.
Is it possible that you met Virginia Roberts, dined with her, danced with her in Tramp, had sex with her?
3 or 4 times a year? Absolutely not.
Virginia Roberts' legal team says you could not spend time around Epstein and not know what was going on.
There were a lot of people who were walking around Jeffrey Epstein's house. As far as I was aware, they were staff. They were people that were working for him or doing things. I, as it were, I interacted with them, if you want to say good morning, good afternoon, but I didn't, if you see what I mean, interact with them in a way that was, you know, what are you doing here? Why are you here? What's going on?
But you'd notice if there were hundreds of underage girls in Buckingham Palace.
God.
We are once again about to see a truthful response, far more animated and forceful.
Wouldn't you?
But you would notice if there were hundreds of underage girls in Jeffrey's house. Wasn't there?
The number from the reporter was clearly exaggerated. No one ever claimed there were hundreds of sex slaves walking around Epstein's premises.
Epstein is dead.
Yes.
The women are now being heard.
Quite rightly.
You've talked about a thick skin. I wonder if you have any sense now of guilt, regret or shame about any of your behaviour and your friendship with Epstein?
Do I regret the fact that he has quite obviously conducted himself in a manner unbecoming? Yes.
Unbecoming. He was a sex offender.